Welcome back to the Football Monitor channel. We're having a look back at last night's game in the EFL Cup, where Southampton played in the last 16 against Stoke City, and the Saints have progressed to the last 8, where the draw will be made later on this evening. I'm going to break down some of the game. We're going to have a look back at some of the key moments, and if you want to get involved in the comments box below, you can discuss it all with me as well. Yeah, it was a disappointing performance in the end. Certainly, that second half performance wasn't great from the Saints at all. I thought they started the game really well, better of the two teams for the opening 25 minutes, and just literally got caught off guard with a set play, which we don't deal with set play very well, and that has been a common thing. This it hasn't quite been good enough, that is for sure. But I've got all the statistics on the left-hand side of your screen. So as you're looking at my screen, on the left-hand side, you can see all the statistics from the game. You can see that Southampton had 79% of the ball possession last night compared to the 21 of Stoke City. 13 goal attempts for Saints compared to the 6 of Stoke. 5 shots on goal compared to the 2 of Stoke City. Block shots, Saints have 1, Stoke have 1. Corner kicks, just the 1 for Stoke City last night. Goalkeeper saves, Aaron Ramsdale not with a save to make for Southampton last night. Stoke goalkeeper had 2 saves to make. 15 fouls from them, just the 5 fouls from us. Brandon's in the show. Thank you for watching, Brandon. Hey, mate, doesn't feel like a win. We need to be more light. A lot more to worry about on Saturday. Yeah, a much different opponent on Saturday. I think it'd be a really tough game against Everton in the Premier League this weekend. We're going to preview that game tomorrow here on the Football Monitor channel. I do have a guest coming on from one of the Everton fan channels to get a bit of an inside look on all things Everton ahead of this one. I'm going to get a bit of an insight into how they're doing right now. They're in a bit of form, Everton. But looking back at last night's game, we'll look through who played and any standout performers. Were there any standout performers? You can get involved in the comments box below. Who stood out for you? So this is from Flash Score. So this is their match rating. So do we agree with what Flash Score had to say last night? So their star man for Southampton comes through James Bree, who scores the winner on the night. And I thought James Bree had a really good game for Southampton. Jan Bednarek at centre-back got a 7.1, along with Harwood Bellis with a 7.7. Sigawara got a 6.9. He had a goal line clearance as well last night. I thought he'd done all right, though he tied in the game, I thought, Sigawara. I don't know what you guys thought about that. I did feel he tied in the game. I know he'd had a little bit of an injury, but be interesting to see if he actually does start the game at the weekend. I'm not sure if James Bree will keep his place at left-back, which he could potentially do, because Bree did play well last night. Is he a left back in the Premier League, though? I'm not convinced that we have a standout left back right now, other than Kyle Walker-Peters, who probably played it the best he played at left back all season long in the game against Leicester City. But Bednarek and Harwood Bellis, 7.1 for Bednarek, 7.7 for Harwood Bellis. Then Aribo, 6.9. I thought he started the game well. They given Ugochukwu 7.1. I didn't think he played particularly well last night. I thought he was at fault definitely for the second goal. Didn't track, didn't win his tackle. And then they break away and they scored, but it just needed to bust a gut to make sure he made the tackle, but it didn't. Mateus Fernandez, 7.6. I thought he was a good 8 out of 10 last night. I thought he played really, really well. Ryan Fraser, he went off with illness last night. There is illness in the camp right now. There are a few players suffering with illness. Ryan Fraser is one of those players that is suffering with illness right now. And hopefully he's better for the weekend. But he's just desperate to get some game time at this moment in time. He's not played a lot of football, has he? Ryan Fraser this season. Then we look at the team. Cameron Archer played up front on his own. Didn't touch the ball. I think 9 touches that he had in the game last night. Adam Armstrong back in the side after a fair time out of it. Looks a little bit heavy last night. Obviously not playing any football. A few people said he was looking overweight, which I thought was harsh. Didn't look overweight. He's just not played loads of football, so it's always going to be harder if he's not playing football. But Adam Armstrong with a penalty last night. Not sure what your thoughts are on the ratings. I would have given Armstrong an 8 out of 10. He did get tired in the game, though, and you'd expect that through not having as much game time. But we did swap a good Chukwu for Shay Charles, and I do find that a bit of a strange one, actually, because I really like Shay Charles. I think Shay Charles is a top player. There's the rest of those statistics back on your screen, so you can study those if you're just joining us live. Now, I'll read a few of your comments out as well. Jack's in the live. Thank you for joining, Jack. It's very kind of you. Do you think we need a new manager? It's a very tough one, isn't it? Would a new manager instantly change this group of players around overnight? He wouldn't. There's an international break coming up, but there's no doubt it's a results-driven business, and things will have to change really, really quickly if he's going to keep his job. And he'd go some way to keeping his job. With a win against Everton at the weekend, I think it's an absolute must-win game. It could be 11 points potentially from safety at the weekend. If Leicester got a result and Everton got a result against us, it would leave us cut right off. And that gap is going to widen in a minute if we're not careful. Leicester City have started the better of those newly promoted sides, you would have to say, at this moment in time. But no, I did think it was some disappointing performances last night. Cornet come off the bench as well. Not obviously giving him a rating, but I thought he struggled, not played a great deal of football, but wasn't the greatest of performances from him. A lot of fans across social media saying send him back to West Ham, which is a little bit harsh, I've got to say. But Sam Amieo will be disappointed he's not getting any game time right now. Somebody that done really, really well in pre-season in this pathway, he's been blocked at the moment because of the lone player, Cornet, at this moment in time. But is Sam Amieo worth playing over Cornet at this moment in time in the League Cup game? Probably, for me, if I'm being totally honest. Other players that come in, I thought did okay last night. I thought Tall Paul come in, played well when he came off the bench. I really like Paul Inuachu. He come off. He was very vocal. Will he get his first Premier League goal? Will he ever score a goal for Southampton? Remains to be seen, doesn't it? But who knows? We will find out in the next couple of weeks. That is for sure. Hopefully, he can make a contribution between now and that January transfer window opening. Still convinced he'd go in January. I do think he will go in January. Do get involved in the comments box below if you're watching live. Your thoughts on last night's performance against Stoke City. I did think it was poor. Maybe the result papers over a few cracks. I did some instant reaction here on my YouTube channel. You may have seen the video as I left the ground, just as it was fresh in my memory. I've watched some of the highlights back, and the set play goal for the first goal is really poor, and the second goal is not good neither. Defensively, we have to be so much better, Saints. We have to be defensively so much better going forward. That is for sure, because we cannot keep letting in the goals that we're letting in right now, because we are letting in way too many goals. And there's no doubt that Jack Stevens will come back into centre back at the weekend, and they go with a 5 at the back. I think it will be Stevens, Bednarek, Harwood Bellis, Yuki Sugawara probably, and probably Kyle Walker-Peters. Does Ryan Manning keep his place in front of Kyle Walker-Peters on that left-hand side? Because that seemed to work quite well in the game against Leicester. Will he do the same against Everton? We will see on Saturday, but I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Nobody's really shining on that left-hand side of midfield at the moment. Silamana come on last night. I thought he played quite well. Can Silamana be a player that can really start to impact the game? He really, really does need to, Silamana. £25 million Saints spent on him, and we've not seen enough of him. It's last chance saloon for Russell Martin this weekend, says Simon, who's joined us live. Thank you for joining, Simon. Thank you for your comment as well. You would say so. You'd say he needs to find a win. We're a quarter of the season done. 25% of the season will be finished by the end of play on Saturday. So by 5 o'clock on Saturday, 25% of our season will be done. Right, let's get the post-match reaction from what Russell Martin had to say after the game last night. He was speaking with BBC Radio 5 Live, and here is what he said after Southampton qualified for the next round of the Carabao Cup into the last 8, Southampton. He said it should have been a lot easier than what it was. Went on to say we were so dominant in the first half and we should have gone went 2-0 up. He also went on to say, by the time I left the stands at 2-0 up, it was already 2-1 by the time I got down. So I was a bit frustrated. I saw him go down from where I sat. He went on to also say, really like the performance on the whole of the first half. The final choice in terms of pass, cross or finish wasn't there. We could have made it more comfortable, but we gave them something to hold on to, which changed the context of the game. Speaking about Stoke, Russell Martin said they defended with big numbers and they caught us in a moment on the counter-attack, and they nearly did again later on in the game. And that was when Yuki Sigurara cleared that ball off the line, which would have made it 3-2. Imagine if it had gone 3-2 again at St Mary's. I think there would have been an absolute meltdown in the stadium. But he said they did defend in big numbers, but the boys came through in a moment of adversity, and we won the game with some quality from James Bree. On his side's performance, Russell Martin said, so many players on the pitch haven't been there recently, so we have to take that into consideration. There are a lot of players playing there with each other for the first time in a long time. He said that he was pleased with the character within the group. I learned a lot about some individuals tonight, and we got through it. At the start of the night, it was all about winning the game. It's not easy in the cup, and you have to respect it. That is what the Saints manager, Russell Martin, had to say after the game last night with Radio 5 Live. Thank you for everyone joining us live. Really appreciate you jumping on. I read a few more of your comments out. If you do want to get involved in the comments box, if you're watching live, please do. I'm going to start doing these final word live shows the day after a game if I can. It's something I want to do more. It's something that people seem to really enjoy as well. So we will do this more and more here on the Football Martin channel, because I do really do enjoy bringing it to you. I enjoy talking about Saints. I enjoy you guys getting involved as well. Talking about you guys getting involved, let's read out some of your comments as we come to the back end of the show. Right, let's read out a few of these comments. Martin, last night's fixture was the perfect opportunity to restore self-belief and some confidence in the players and fans. Instead, more doubts, more gloom. It's very concerning heading into the next game. I absolutely agree. I think it's a really spot-on assessment of where we are right now. You are correct. It left more question marks than anything else. You are right. You were wanted a comfortable win, a clean sheet, and we didn't keep the clean sheet. And that's the big disappointment for me, is we didn't keep that clean sheet last night like I really wanted us to. I wanted Aaron Ramsdale with that clean sheet, and he didn't get it, did he? Which is disappointing. Robert Brown's joined the live as well. Thank you, Robert. Really appreciate you tuning in this evening. Let's read out what you have to say. I'm glad that I thought Martin was still letting bad goals against us. Teams like Stoke does worry me. A team like Stoke that made a lot of changes and played a lot of teenagers as well. It was a very much a changed Stoke side, a very young side as well. And I thought that we would have got a clean sheet last night. I really did. I thought we would have been a bit more professional about it. I have to be honest. Somebody said the club don't care about staying up. They love the parachute payments, says R. That remains to be seen. If they do care about staying up, action will be taken, you would think, in the next couple of weeks if they're not happy and they've lost belief in whether this manager could keep us in the Premier League. Do they think somebody else could keep us in the Premier League? There's a big decision probably to be made, you would think. But it remains to be seen. This is a good comment, actually, by Daz. Aren't Stoke quite low and down in the Championship? Yes, they are, Daz. They're 19th in the Championship right now. They are struggling in the Championship right now. And that should have been a comfortable win last night, even with the changes that we made as well. Mark's in the live. Mark's a regular. Thank you for joining us this evening, Mark. Really appreciate you being here. Many sports journalists are giving Russell Martin 2 more games. Is 2 more games going to be too many, though, Mark? That would be my question to you. How do you feel about it? Do you think that the next 2 games are the biggest 2 games of the season right here, right now? There's no doubt about that, because when you look at the fixtures after this international break, are so unforgiving up to Christmas, aren't they? Because we come back, we have to play Liverpool on a Super Sunday, and then we have to play Brighton and Hove Albion, I believe, on the Friday again on Sky, against 2 really two tough games, 2 really horrible fixtures to play straight on the back of these. Now, we've played a lot of the home games that sides around us, Leicester, Ipswich, Everton, have been down there, but Everton are 5 unbeaten. Since we beat them in the Carabao Cup, they have not lost a game, Everton. I'll preview it all later on in the week. Robert, I think it's Robert. No, R said, so it's not R, I thought it was Robert. Started basically our strong team and still struggled to a 19th championship team. Says a lot. And I think a lot of it is down to confidence. I really do think there is a lot of issues with confidence right now. And football is all about confidence. We haven't been winning. Yeah, we won a couple of cup games. We won one up. We scraped through against Cardiff in the end, didn't we? That first round against Cardiff. Then it was Everton. We did it on penalties. Has been a little bit tough, hasn't it? Has been a little bit tough. If we lose to Everton, yeah, I read this out a minute ago, actually. He said, this is a good point. If we lose to Everton, we'll be 11 points adrift. This weekend, it's crucial. I totally agree. All teams at the bottom are playing each other. Yeah, because Leicester play Ipswich, and that is a massive game as well, isn't it? It's such a big game, that one. Yeah, no, I agree. It's a huge weekend. Tor Paul does need to play more. I totally agree with the Southamptons stand who's joined us live this evening. Thank you for joining us. Tor Paul got a little bit of an opportunity last night, did show himself well, talked a lot, seemed to really want to play, really wanted to be on the pitch last night, which was good to see. I was really pleased to see his effort and endeavour last night. But you have to utilise him. If he's going to come on in games, his strength has surely got to be in the air, getting on the end of things. If you see the goals he scored, he plays on the last man, on the last shoulder. The goals that, if you go and look at video combinations, the goals that he scored, that's how he scores goals, really. But you need to play to his strengths. I don't think we're going to play to his strength, and I don't think the manager would favour to play him because it's just not. It's not going to be good for how he wants to play football. Maybe his image, even. Someone said that to me last night, and that's not from me, but somebody said it's not. The manager's it would dent his image by starting that a striker such as Paul, because the way that Paul plays. And I kind of thought maybe that's a point, actually. But yeah, he won't want to. He won't want to go down that road. What's your opinions on Armel Bella-Kotchap, Martin? Should he be getting more of a look in? Well, he was given the opportunity to play for the under-21s, I believe, on Friday night. He turned that opportunity down. I like Armel Bella-Kotchap. I think he's one of the best centre-backs at the club. You're paying him money. Can you not find a way to utilise him? Another manager may do. But we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. But he is a top centre-back, in my opinion. I don't really think that Russell Martin fancied Tor Paul, says Mark. No, he doesn't. And he doesn't really want to use him. And if Ross Stewart was available, we'd be paying Ross Stewart over him, even though Unuactu has the far better record across Europe, scoring goals, which is unbelievable, really, when you think about it. I do enjoy doing these lives because I love getting you guys, your comments involved, because it is really good. Really, really good. Right. R's back on. If we are not supposed to pick up points against Man City, Arsenal, who are we supposed to get points from? Question mark. Everton, Ipswich, Leicester, your home games, teams around you. That is for sure. Martin couldn't be Ipswich, Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth, Brentford, Leicester. Totally agree. And we will look back at the end of the season and we will look back on those games and say, were they the games that we just chucked away? But the way we play, we do give teams so many opportunities. It is unforgiving at this level to continue to be so naive. I've said this for a while. Jose Mourinho wants to manage a lower league team. Someone said, hold on, go back to it. Jose Mourinho wants to manage a team at the bottom. It may be a West Ham would be perfect for him. He wouldn't come to a Southampton or Ipswich, though. I don't see it. Mark's in agreement with me on Bella-Kotchap, German international. He must play, says Mark. I do agree. He should be getting some more game time. Russell Martin is a very stubborn manager. There's no doubt about that, Daz. He is very, very stubborn. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. It would mean the world to me. Smash a like on this video as well. It does help the channel. And if you see any of my content, share it with your friends. If you've got Southampton friends, please do share my content. There's some great stuff coming your way this week. Give me a follow over on TikTok as well, at @footballmartin_ on TikTok. I'm pretty regular on TikTok most days creating content. Go live there as well. I'm doing a pre-match preview tomorrow on the Everton game as well. So I will have everything ahead of the Everton game and get the Toffees view, because I am going to be joined by a Toffees fan. We've got some good players. I totally agree. We do have some really good players, but it's how you utilize those players and get the best out of those players. And that's what I think we need to find, that winning formula now. That is the most important thing. It's been a good live. I've enjoyed coming on for the last 20 minutes or so. If you're on catch up, please do drop your comments in the comments box below. Been subscribed for a while, Martin. Love the input and the content. Really, really appreciate your comment first and foremost. It's very, very kind of you. Thank you for commenting. Yes, great of you to be subscribed as well. It means the world to me. Every subscriber, every comment I read. So I do read everything. I will be back. I'll be live this evening on TikTok for the Carabao Cup draw as well. So you can join me live over on TikTok if you want to. We'll see who Southampton face in the last 8 of the competition, and we'll digest our opponents over on there as well. And I'll be back here on YouTube tomorrow with a pre-match preview of the Everton game as well. Thank you very much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'll join you again for another live stream very, very soon.